しく燃えるバトル行くぜピンチはチャンスだぜ行こうぜ起死回生絶対に諦めない俺たちは諦めない
What is going on, everyone's Blades Consistency here. Welcome back to another episode of 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. So let's go ahead and get this episode started of 9 persons, 9 hours, 9 doors, shall we? So if you would like to become one of my ultimates, go ahead and subscribe down below and join the ultimates. Like, what are you doing right now? Hit that subscribe button. But anyways, let's jump back into this game because in the last episode, we ended on a cliffhanger. So we're going to have to continue that in this episode. Sorry about that cliffhanger, guys. But I felt like I had to end it there just because. So, from far away, Junpei heard the bell ring. It did so only once. It was 1 a.m. Oh shit! I thought somebody was in my house running. That kind of scared me. He jogged through the entrance of the large hospital room to find 6 of the others already there. Ace, Santa, Clover, June, Seven, and Lotus. They had gathered in front of door number 8. Or perhaps, to be accurate, they had gathered in front of the red next to the door number 8. Had one of them found the missing piece? What happened, guys? It was June who answered him. Jumpy, look! She was pointing at the red. He pushed through the others until he stood in front of it. It's vacant. Oh shit! The music! Immediately, he knew what she had meant. The display on the front of the red, vacant. Junpei sighed. Huh. Come on, guys. Who was it? I thought we were supposed to yell if we found it. Well... Junpei wondered why she was hesitating. The others looked as confused as June, but kept their mouths shut. What the hell? What's up with you guys? They all knew something he didn't, and Junpei wasn't about to leave things that way. Finally, Lotus frowned and spoke. Well, that's the thing. We don't know. You don't know? When I got back, it was already like this. There was no one else here. That means I was the first one back, but the missing parts were already back in the red. Junpei looked at the bottom of the red again, just to make sure. The slot that had been open on the bottom was now covered with metal. Clearly, whatever had been missing had been returned. What about the other two? They're the same. Junpei quickly examined the other 2 boxes. Okay, yeah. 8. Satisfied that they were also repaired, but still very confused, he returned to the others. Alright, I just want to be sure here. Nobody has any idea what the hell happened, right? Ace and June nodded silently. Seven raised his hands as if to say, not me, and Santa just shrugged. Only Clover lowered her head and did nothing. Huh? Wait a minute. That was when he noticed. Where's Snake? What the heck? Where did Snake go? Junpei swept his eyes across the room a second time, but Snake was nowhere to be seen. Does that mean that he found them? I have no idea. There's nothing to suggest it, but nothing to suggest he didn't either. I don't suppose we all know until we can ask him in person. Well, whatever he did or didn't do, it's pretty damn late. What the hell is he up to? Maybe he's lost. Yeah, well, that seems likely. Two can't see. Let's see how he gets around in the first place. Clover raised her head. No! That's impossible! Suddenly, she was shouting. Yeah, my brother's blind, but he's got really great hearing. He can get around as well as anyone who can see. So he couldn't get lost. That's impossible! Clover had started to shake, and the knuckles of her hands had gone white. She spun around, but before she did, Junpei noticed tears welling up in her eyes. I'm gonna go look for him! The words were barely out of her mouth when she began to run. Hey! Hold on, Clover! Wait! Junpei cried out to her, but he was too slow. She kept going, and before anyone else could react, she was gone. Damn it! What should we do now?
Well, the red is working now. No, we're not leaving 2 people behind. We should go look for them.
Oh man, this ain't good. Oh yes, what an excellent idea. We just wasted a bunch of time looking for some piece of electronic junk. Now let's waste some more time by looking for a couple of idiots. Sounds good to me. Then remain here if you feel you must, but there's no time. We've only 5 hours left. Junpei and the others nodded to one another and took off at a run. In front of the stairs that led to B deck, they decided to split up. They quickly assigned search areas and went their separate ways. Soon only 2 of them were left. Those 2 were Junpei and June, who had been a few steps behind the others. Alright, we should go too.
Yes, let's go. But where should we start?
Let's see. The casino B deck, the first class cabin B deck, the hallway with all the rooms, or back to the large hospital room. Let's search the first class cabin B deck. That sounds cool. What about the first class cabin on B deck?
Alright, sounds good.
They took off up the stairs at a run. Outside of the first class cabin, they found Clover. Oh crap! We actually went to the right place! She was standing in front of the wall. She was staring at a meaningless point on the wall, her eyes blank. What should Junpei do? Let's talk to her. Let's see if we can get this all settled down and everything. Are you alright? He did his best to sound friendly, but Clover didn't respond. Look, I know you're really worried, but, he could think of no words to say that didn't sound hollow and fake. Junpei hesitated. Clover was so consumed by worry and fear that Junpei feared it would crush her. Her actions didn't surprise him. She had suddenly lost her brother, who she seemed to have been very close to.
Lone.
Her voice was thin and barely audible.
Lone.
Huh?
Lone. I said leave me alone!
Suddenly she was screaming.
You're so annoying! Just go away and leave me alone! Just looking at you guys is pissing me off! Go away, okay? Just go somewhere else! Stop bothering me!
Junpei was taken aback. Such anger and hate. June's eyes had gone wide with surprise as well.
Why are you still here? Didn't you hear me? Fine, forget it! If you aren't gonna leave, then I'll just...
Alright. Let's go, June.
Yeah.
They turned and left Clover. As they did, Junpei glanced back over his shoulder to see Clover wiping tears from her face. Clover had driven home the misery of their situation, but Junpei told himself that getting depressed would get him nowhere but depressed. For Clover's sake, they had to find Snake, and fast. He did his best to push away the misery and depression, and forced a smile. So, where do you think we should go next? Maybe the casino B deck? How about the casino?
Let's go take a look.
They turned and headed off down the hallway to the right at a jog. Hopefully we find something down there, like holy crap! I can't believe Snake is just randomly gone. He's just missing. Before they knew it, they were there. So was Lotus. She was leaning against the wall, examining her nails. Hey, what do you think you're doing? She glanced up at him, unimpressed.
Isn't it obvious? I'm looking for Snake.
I'm just not seeing it.
Really? Maybe you need to look harder.
Junpei didn't think that was the problem.
Oh, by the way, I've got a proposal for you two. Care to hear it?
Let's listen to what she has to say. What is it?
Well, I don't like to beat around the bush, so I'll get right to it. Why don't we team up?
Team up?
Yeah. What? You need me to explain it to you? I'm saying, why don't we go through a numbered door? Even if we wanted to, that's impossible. Why? Jumpy's bracelet number is 5, mine is 6, and yours is 8. Our digit root would be 1.
5 plus 6 plus 8 equals 19. which is 10, which would be 1.
But there's no number 1 door in the large hospital room. The only doors there are is 3, 7, and 8. Then we add another person. Huh? Who? What? Isn't that easy? 7.
7? I thought you didn't like the black man. She was right. If they added 7, 5 plus 6 plus 8 plus 7 equals 26, which 2 plus 6 equals 8. Then the 4 of them could go through the number 8 door. But... Whoa. Hold on a second. What about the other 4?
Why don't you add them up?
That was simple enough. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 1. 1, or equals 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1. The digital root for those 4 would be 1.
That's right.
And you know the number 1 door isn't in the big hospital room, right?
Of course I know that. No! Are you saying you'd leave them behind? Of course. Of course not. What kind of woman do you think I am? Once we get off this ship, we should come back and rescue them, couldn't we? Then we wouldn't really be leaving them behind. Don't try to lie to us. I don't think you'd do anything of the sort. Really? Why do you think that? You remember, don't you? We have less than 5 hours left. Even if we manage to escape, there's no way we would come back to rescue them in less than 5 hours. Well, you never know until you try.
No. No. You're not thinking this through. Even if we brought 7 with us, we wouldn't be able to get off this ship. The 4 of us couldn't open door 9. It is hidden, but an exit could be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
Yeah, that's right. The digital root for us 4 would be 8. So we'd have to add Ace to make 9.
Right. Once we bring Ace too, we'll be stuck. Lotus scratched the back of her ear.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate.
She didn't sound particularly bothered by what Junpei said. Nor did she seem particularly surprised.
Well, let's try and find another way, okay? A way to get out of here with all 8 of us. That's impossible. Are you being serious? You do know that only 5 people at most can go through one of the number doors, right? The number 9 is going to be an exception to that rule. Regardless, at least 3 people will get left behind.
You're right. That is true. The moment he said it, Junpei felt a chill run down his spine. Yo, that's crazy. I wasn't even really thinking about that, but now that we think about it, 3 people are gonna be left behind? So 3 people have to die instantly. So this is kind of like Danganronpa where there's gonna be more survivors, I hope, but people are being forced to be killed. So we're still gonna have to figure out who's making it out of here and who's not. So some people are gonna have to get left, dude. That is crazy right there. That right there is kind of scary. It was true. How Lotus could remain cavalier about so terrifying a prospect was beyond them. When they found the number 9, they would have to choose which 3 of them would die. Lotus's forehead furrowed.
Do you think I could have a moment alone? There's some things I need to think about.
Okay. Well, you do your thing. Junpei and June turned and began walking away from Lotus. Talking to her had left them feeling ill. Junpei's heart felt heavy and his steps sluggish. But he told himself pessimism would get them nowhere. So he forced himself to smile and turned to June. Let's just focus on finding Snake for now, okay?
Yes, you're right. We can think about those other things later.
Junpei nodded. Alright, where should we go next? Let's go to the hallway with all the rooms again. Let's go back downstairs and check out that hallway with all the doors. They took off at a run down the stairs. Something's about to happen. Something's about to pop off. I just don't know what it is. Ahead of them, further down the hallway, they spotted Ace. Hey, Snake. Where are you? Answer me if you're there. Junpei paused. What do you want to do? Should we let Ace handle it? Why don't we just leave this area to Ace? We can go somewhere else.
I don't mind. But where?
Well, let's see. All we have is the hospital room now. Why don't we go back to the big hospital room?
Okay, let's go then.
They turned and headed back toward the large hospital room. On their way to the large hospital room, Junpei and June noticed Santa standing next to the number 3 door. Junpei paused. Let's talk to him. Junpei and June walked up to Santa. What are you doing? What? You can't tell? I'm checking out the red.
Why is there something bothering you?
What? It's not bothering you?
Huh?
The guts of this red. Why wouldn't you wonder who the hell would put it back in there?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm curious too, but
What do you think did it? Santa's eyes narrowed as he looked at June. She shook her head.
I don't know.
Well, what about you, Junpei? What do you think fixed this thing for us? Probably someone other than the 8 of them. Maybe there's someone else on the ship with us. Someone hiding here? Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just an idea. And you're saying this mystery person fixed the reds? Yeah. Why? That's, I don't know. Santa shoved his hands into his pockets and cracked his knuckles. Seems unlikely. Why? I don't know. Just a feeling. Hard to believe you would bring in a secret 10th player. I don't know. We said that in Danganronpa. We thought there was only like a few, what was it, like 16 people? But there ended up being 17, or was it 15 and there ended up being 16? I don't remember. I forgot Danganronpa 1, but Mikuru Ikasaba appeared out of nowhere. Sorry, I'm kind of spoiling that game. But anyway, back to 999. I mean, the name of this game is the Nonary game, for Christ's sake. You know what Nonary means, right? It means 9. No, that's not what I meant. I mean more like someone who's been living here for a long time. Or someone who, like, stayed here. Seriously? That's even more ridiculous. Why do you think Zero would leave them alone? Junpei furrowed his brow. So, in other words, one of us is the person who fixed the red? Santa grinned. Bingo. We have a winner. But if that's the truth, then the person who did it doesn't want the rest of us to know. They fixed the red. Yeah. But why? No idea. Maybe if they come clean on that, it means we'd find something else about them. Something bad. Something bad? Don't know. But whatever it is, it's gotta be worth hiding. These fucking bastards. Of course. Could have something to do with Snake's disappearance. You think maybe they did something to Snake? It's not out of the question. Junpei stared at Santa. There was something about him that made Junpei wary. At first, he assumed the other man wasn't terribly clever, but Junpei was beginning to think he would need to reevaluate that assessment. When Santa spoke again, his voice was quiet. Look, if you trust anybody in this game, you're gonna lose. You've gotta be careful. The person you trust the most could turn out to be the one who stabs you in the back. That depressing suggestion, he turned and quietly walked away. Junpei and June looked at one another and smiled awkwardly. Where'd they go next? Let's go back and try to talk to Ace real quick. Just to see what's up. Cause I feel like there's something fishy going on up here. There's no sign of anyone. Snake, of course, was nowhere to be found. They would have to look somewhere else. But where? We looked everywhere though. We might have to just finish the investigation, honestly. Alright, let's just finish searching. No one was in the other areas. They looked everywhere they could think of, but Snake was nowhere to be found. Lotus looked around at 6 frustrated faces and spoke.
We can't keep looking for Snake. Wherever he is, it's not here. We need to get moving.
Junpei couldn't disagree with what she was saying. Snake seemed to have completely disappeared. There was no point to wasting any more time. The others seemed to be having similar thoughts, but they stayed silent. Finally, Seven spoke. We don't got no choice. Lotus is right. We're not gonna find Snake. There's a problem though. Gotta figure out who's gonna go through which door.
Yes, I have a proposal.
She walked back and forth across the floor, her heels clicking against the wood. Finally, she stopped.
Why don't we decide on one person to sacrifice?
Sacrifice? What is this girl talking about? She is crazy. She is on a whole different level, I swear to God. Lotus is crazy.
Well, perhaps that's a bit of a harsh word, but yes. You've got it all figured out by now, haven't you? We can't all make it through those doors. If we split into 2 teams of 4 and 3 people respectively, then 3 people will be left behind. If we split into 2 teams of 5 and 2 people respectively, then 2 people will be left behind. But if we split into 2 groups of 3 and leave 1 person out, then only 1 person will be left behind.
Leaving behind 3 people with 2 teams of 4 and 3? I'm not sure about that. Junpei wasn't quite sure that was true. Wait a minute. 2 people get left behind if we split into 5 and 2. And 1 person is left behind if we split into 3, 3, and 1? I got that part. You can't go through the number doors with any less than 3 people. But if we split into 4 and 3, then why do 3 people have to be left behind?
Just run the numbers. Let's say we go through the door 7 with 1, 4, 5, 6. Who's left over?
That would be 3, 7, 8.
What's the digit root for that?
Equals 7 plus 8 equals 18, so add 1 and 8, which is 9.
Exactly. But door 9 isn't here, right? That means 3, 7, 8 won't be going anywhere. That's just an example, of course. There are a lot of different combinations, but the result will always be the same. It doesn't matter which 4 it is. The 3 that are left over can't go through any of the doors. Go ahead and calculate it if you have the time. You'll see. Anyway, that's how it is. Now, if we can get back to my proposal, we only have to sacrifice 1 person if we split into 3, 3, and 1.
When 7 spoke, his voice was strained.
Then, saying we gotta decide who's gonna stay behind.
Yes, we do. Given our circumstances, it's logically and morally the best solution. If the other 6 are just 5, then 1 person has to sacrifice themselves. No, that's too cruel. What's so cruel about it? To just sacrifice someone like that? Then what's your plan? Maybe we should sacrifice 2 people instead of just 1. That's not what I meant. We shouldn't sacrifice anyone. I told you, that's impossible. Wake up.
Whoa, whoa, calm down, you two. Tiana stepped between Lotus and June. Look, what Lotus is trying to say is that you should aim to bring the greatest amount of happiness to the greatest amount of people, right?
Exactly. That's how democracy works. And for that reason, I think the only fair way to decide who will be sacrificed is through a vote. What do you think? No. That's terrible. I'm not asking you. Shut up. What about you, Santa?
Me? Well, I agree, I guess.
Alright. That's 1 vote for... Counting mine, that's 2. 7?
I can't say I agree with you, but we don't exactly have a choice. If we don't do something, we're all gonna die.
Glad to see you get it. If I can get 1 more vote, then it's decided.
Man, this bitch is crazy. She's got more than just big boobs, that's for sure.
What about you, Clover?
Clover had moved away from the group and was sitting on one of the beds. Her whole body drooped. Junpei didn't know that she even heard Lotus's proposal. Lotus walked over to Clover and gently laid a hand on her shoulder.
Your brother has to be behind one of the numbered doors. We searched everywhere, but we didn't find him. Doesn't that mean he has to have gone through one of them somehow?
Clover slowly lifted her face.
Let's go look for him together, okay? If we sacrifice 1 person, we can go look for him. You agree with me, right?
Clover nodded once.
The motion carries.
Lotus spun around and walked toward Junpei.
Now, let's start a vote too.
That won't be necessary.
Ace had barely spoken for Lotus's entire speech, and everyone jumped a little. 6 pairs of eyes turned to look at him. He didn't seem to notice, or even care.
I will stay. That should solve our problem, yes.
Ace, what are you saying? No, you can't do that. That won't solve anything.
June's voice shook, and she looked around desperately for someone to agree with her. Ace simply looked at her.
June, I'm afraid you may have misunderstood me. I said I would stay, but I never said I would sacrifice myself.
Huh?
I trust you, each and every one of you. Believe you'll come back for me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There's optimistic and then there's just nuts. Those doors only go one way. You go in, you don't come out. If you go through them, you won't be able to return, correct? Yeah. True. But that would be the case once you've escaped from the ship. What? Please, I beg you, once you've escaped, come back and rescue me. Ideally, within the time limit Zero has given us.
No, I can't do that. That's ridiculous. There's no way we could get back in time. Finally, Junpei could hold his tongue no longer. We've only got 5 hours left. We don't even know where the hell we are. How on earth are we gonna find someone to come and rescue you?
Then perhaps you should prefer to stay instead of me. Or perhaps you would be willing to leave June behind.
Ace's voice was dignified, without a hint of cruelty or malice. Junpei had no rebuttal.
You see, there's no other choice. And I see we've come to our conclusion. Go on. Don't worry yourselves about me. Go, quickly.
Junpei stood frozen by indecision, unable to move. June bit her lips so hard that Junpei feared she would break the skin. Santa stood against the wall, calm and aloof. Seven tore his beanie from his head, turned it over anxiously in his hands. Only Clover stared at Ace, but an expression Junpei was unable to decipher. Lotus's attitude, however, was different from the others.
Good. Let's accept this kind offer then.
She smiled, her eyes bright.
Why don't we leave you behind? We don't need your boobs.
Ace answered with a smile of his own.
Good. I think this is the best for me. Perhaps I'll be able to take a nap. Perhaps it's my age. I get tired so easily these days.
As he spoke, he lowered himself down to the floor next to one of the beds. The hell? Upstairs, we're deep in the ship. Junpei suddenly heard the screeching of metal on metal. It was almost as if the ship were screaming. Would it really hold until their time limit was up? Already, the deck was flooded. In the sudden silence, they only sound the sad metal wail of the ship. Wait, what? In the sudden silence, the only sound was the sad metal wail of the ship. Unsurprisingly, it was Lotus who spoke first.
Well, what are you waiting for? We're wasting time. Don't we hurry it up?
As if a spell had been broken, the others all began to talk at once.
You're right. We should get going. That's all we can do right now.
7.
Seriously, honestly, I was getting kind of sick of listening to you guys talk.
You too, Santa? I have to find my brother. Wait, all of you. Let's just calm down and think about this. There has to be a way to get everyone out. There has to be. Right, Jumpy? Say something.
Yeah. Let's think. There's gotta be another way. His words sounded hollow and fake.
Fine. Forget about it. I'll figure it out my own.
She spun around and ran toward Ace. He had slumped down next to the bed when June grabbed his arm and pulled.
Come on, Ace. Please stand up. You can't give up yet. We just have to sit down together and think about this. We'll figure out a way that we could all get out of here.
Then it happened. The hell?
Oh, shit! Oh! Oh, my God! Did he just die? No, he can't die. Ace can't die.
Ace fell forward. He slumped over onto the wooden floor, his body folded in half like a boxer out cold.
Ace!
June cried out and dropped to her knees beside him. She put her arm around his neck and did her best to lift him up.
What happened, Ace? Say something.
She shook him frantically. His eyes fluttered open.
I'm all right.
His voice was weak and slightly slurred.
How are you? Fine.
This.
He held out his left arm and slowly opened his hand. And it was a syringe and a small vial. The vial was empty. It had only recently been emptied. A few drops clung to the sides. There was a label taped to the side of the container. It read, Sulfuril beta. Sulfuril beta? Junpei had no idea what it meant or what kind of medicine it might be.
Did you use this?
Yes. It's just anesthetics. I'll be fine.
Anesthetic.
I found it earlier. While we were searching the hospital rooms. Thought it might be useful later.
Huh.
I didn't think I'd be using it on myself.
Why did you do this?
Didn't I tell you? I'd like to take a nap. I really am very tired.
Junpei knew that wasn't why he'd done it. Ace had injected himself with anesthetic to forestall Junpei and Jun's attempts to bring him along. If he couldn't move, there was nothing they could do. He injected himself so they would be forced to leave him behind.
Ace!
Is there something you want to say? I'd just like to sleep a little. Could you keep it down?
No! Don't, Ace! Don't fall asleep!
Ah, you feel warm. So comfortable. I think I'll have a nice dream.
Ace's eyelids drooped further and further, almost as though he were dying.
Ace! Ace!
She shook his shoulder again and again, but this time, he didn't respond. Only the gentle rising and falling of his chest told him that he was alive. Junpei was relieved to see he was, in fact, still breathing. He lifted Ace up off the floor and laid him on the bed he'd been leaning against. When Junpei turned around, Lotus gave him a look of pity.
Well, we really don't have a choice now. We can't let his sacrifice go to waste. Right?
She wasn't feeling any remorse. Junpei was sure of that. Still, he held no grounds upon which to oppose her. It felt wrong, but he had to agree. Then suddenly, Santa spoke. Yeah, but we're not done choosing yet, are we?
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, we haven't decided who's going in, what door.
Ah, yes. Yes, that's true.
Well, enough of this screwing around. Let's decide. You first, Lotus. Which door do you want?
I want door number 8. It's the same number as my bracelet number.
Got it. You're 8. You're next, 7. Which one do you want?
I'll take 7. I can't get along with that old lady.
What? What did you just say?
Her face distorted by rage, Lotus took a step towards 7. He threw up his hands and made a face like a child caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
Ugh! You're gonna get it next time.
She shot him a glare that would have melted steel, then turned and stalked off. Alright, who's next? Santa's gaze moved across the 3 people left. Finally, they stopped on Junpei. Junpei, which door do you want? At last, Junpei's mind was already made up. Oh, I don't know. I don't know which door I want. Damn you, Santa.
Hope will never die.